Evening, everybody. How have you been? Looks like it's just me right now. But we should have some panel members trundling in before too long. Just get the game fired up. So yeah, last time I left off at Gaug Machine City. We're involved in some kind of ploy involving the Zodiac Stones and Mustadio, who made a fake one. And of course I found out that Cardinal Dracula was a traitor. What a shock. From a late 90s JRPG, right? See Matthew Martin in chat. Good evening. Okay. Better send out some notifications on social media that we are in fact live. Just a second. There we go. One more. Go ahead and sound off in chat if you're here. We'll get right back to you. Okay, there's the other notification. Oh, looks like I got a message in Discord. Okay, Ardenon will be by in like 20 minutes or so. Good times. Wait for chat to fill up a little bit. Okay, let's fill some of this dead air. Now I got some dudes out on the job. Okay, when it says call back like that, it means they're still out. Otherwise it would say report. So I need to kill a couple days. Unfortunately, the only thing I can do to advance time is move. And I've got some combats anywhere I go. Good to see Chan and Chad. Yes, it is going to be time for some calculations. First, let's see if there's anything I can learn or anything I can equip. And Archer's leveling up slow. I might need to actually make him an Archer. Yeah, I'm gonna bank my thief points. So I think he's good. Oh, just saving up for equip sword. Okay. And she's mastered everything else. And my second calculator. Yeah, I'm gonna bank those. We're running out of stuff to learn. Yeah, and he's out on the job. G.D. Cowan's boy, rad. What's that, chat? Square's making a tactics-like game. Yeah, it's not going to be as good as this. Then again, what is? Wonder how many chocobos I have now. They breed like rabbits. Only the 2. Okay, good. What I'm going to have to look into soon is how to get some of the secret characters like Beowulf and Cloud from FF7. You know what? While I wait for chat to fill up a little more, I'm going to do that now. Okay. My fingers do the walking. Okay, get Cloud. Okay, can't do that till chapter 4. We got a ways to go. Is there anything else I can do right now that'd be fun? Some exploit. Some bug. I think I'm good for now. On the plus side, one advantage of not having a panel yet is we don't have any audio issues when it's just me. Bradford Walker in chat. Hey, Bradford. Great to see you. Megabuster Shepherd points out Square Enix and Good haven't been together in a sentence for a long time. That is true. I wasn't even too happy with the FF7 remake, to be honest with you. Like, I watched David Stewart, and then I had a local buddy who I watched play it, and I was like, meh. Plus a heaping brimful of pause. Just had a shoehorn in there. Oh, some people are saying that, what is it, Dragon Quest 11 was good. Wow, they're up to that. Man, last one I played was 4. But that's the thing. See, this game was made back when it was just Square. And I maintain that the unholy fusion of Square and Enix, which turned them from competitors into just one company, was the that was the end of the golden age of JRPGs. Like, I remember even seeing a Game Informer cover or something back in the day announcing the merger, like, well, magic's over. And I was right. Yeah, that's the thing. Dragon Quest just keeps repeating the same formula they know works, and they do it well. With Final Fantasy, they try to reinvent the wheel every time. Again, at least until 10-2. And now they kind of got, I don't know, Final Fantasy kind of got codified, kind of ossified, and more like Dragon Quest. So I think Enix was a bad influence on them. Anyway, let's get it on. I forgot what we're doing here, to be honest. We're going to find out. Matthew Martin says Dragon Quest 3 to 6 is the high point of the series. I've heard that. I really like 2. I think I like 2 a little better than 3, and then I love 4. But 4 is where they start a new story. You know, we're not in the Erdrick saga anymore. Oh, look who's back. Who is our buddy Delita giving us a threat? It's healthier to keep your nose out of princesses, stones, and coke. Unless you're a Canon film screenwriter in the 80s. Delita's reminding me of an old Sam Hyde bit. Where there's a video where Sam talks about how he created a Tinder profile. And under his bio it just put, "Only I can save you." So of course women would take the bait and ask him, "Save me from what?" And he'd just reply, "Me." Got a lot of interactions. Delita is full of wisdom here. The best ways don't always lead to the best results. It's true. Sometimes 80% is good enough. Or rather, finding the 80% or the 20% that gets you 80% of your results. I had that backwards. Hey, no chat. I've tried playing Breath of Fire. I don't know. I found the icon-based user interface kind of baffling at first. But yeah, that was a whole high 90s JRPG series that I just missed out on. I went with Final Fantasy. Because back in the day, remember that if you adjust for inflation, like your average SNES cart was the equivalent of like $70-80 today. Bigger ones, like the JRPGs, were like 100. So you got like 2. Or at least I did. Like 1 for Christmas, 1 on my birthday. And if there's a special occasion like a graduation or something, I might get another one. So I had to pick. And it chose Final Fantasy. But I don't know. I'd like to get into Breath of Fire. I respect it. But don't have that much familiarity with it. Thanks again for joining me tonight, chat. It's lonely without the panel. Remember back during the FF4 streams when I just used to do this by myself? The panel didn't really start showing up until like halfway through. It feels like forever ago. Delita's turned into a rather morbid guy, although seeing your sister exploded in front of you will probably do that. I'd imagine. Okay, come on, now let me move back and forth. Okay, sweet. Oh no. They tricked me. They triggered the battle when I tried to leave town. Hey, Christopher. Good to see you in chat. I'm doing good. Oh, Jan with the Castlevania 2 reference. Classic. Oh, oh wait. Spoke too soon. Not another battle, just more scheming. Also, here we have the Cardinal, the head of Bart Trading Company, and Gafgarian all together. What are these miscreants going to be getting up to? Let's find out. Look at that classic Bill Clinton dodge. Mistakes were made. And I believe this was a year before that. Like it best to Shepard pointing out how humanity has to keep learning the same lessons over and over. Yeah, we truly are lost lambs. I mean, that's the fall. That's what every utopian movement in philosophy just arbitrarily decides to ignore. Is human beings can't perfect human nature. Only grace can. Yeah, we're broken. We need the divine physician to fix us. I was recently reading through the canons and decrees of the Council of Trent. And that was back when ecumenical councils still pronounced anathemas, and they tried to remember the exact wording, but they affirmed that, like, if on the one hand anyone would deny that God's grace is necessary for salvation, let him be anathema, but on the other hand, if anyone would deny that man's free cooperation with grace is impossible or necessary, let him be anathema. I'm really vibing to the council documents. Just all clarity of thought, no modern day HR influenced church speak. Literally is brilliant. Oh, which session of the council? I would have to go over. My book is across the room. But I think it was the one from January 13th, 1547. I'll have to look again. If you failed, we shall succeed is the cry of every generation that refuses to accept the wisdom of their predecessors. Yep. That's right, Bradford. And the first generation to rebel against the prior order always thinks, okay, we can make this one little change, we can make this one little twist, and then surely our descendants won't take the next step. And they always do. Like, just look at the cycle of German idealism. Kant said, "Oh no, I'm not descending into subjectivism. Oh no, perish the thought. I'm just trying to pose a challenge to scholastic metaphysics." And of course his successors took the ball and ran with it, and just like, yeah, we subjectivists now. In deed, if not in word. Speaking of words, big words from Gavgarian. Thinks he's gonna get the stone from us. Good luck, pal. You know what army? Unless you think that he will almost certainly bring an army. And most of mine is mood lighting currently. Seeing some Symphony the Night love in chat. I'm still bigger into Simon's Quest. Uh-oh. Whoa! Look what happened there. The Cardinal murdered Rudvich, in all likelihood. It's a reverse of the Godfather 3, which is always a good thing. Okay. Well, actually, let's save. Okay, can I move? Is it going to bushwhack me again? Alright. Excellent. So these are both blue. We can just move back and forth between them until the guys I sent on the job are done. Let's go a couple more times. Look at him go. I just wanted to world a little sprite. Okay, let's check. Not yet. Okay. Just gonna check each time. I could look and see how much time they have left, but nah. Oh, there we go. Let's hear about vacancy. Oh, send them to the mines. Castlevania is a great first NES game. I approve. The best way to excavate it. Score. I think we got the best result. $17 grand, not bad. Okay, we knew all this, that bar trading company is really pretty much the mob. Save our progress. Yes, Mega Buster Shepard. I played Bloodstained like, gosh, was it 3 years ago now? But yeah, that was a worthy successor. Oh, yeah, the 8-bit one was great. Fully concur. Christopher Gordon, if you want a pretty good modern Castlevania style game, check out the Record of Lodoss War one that came out last year, Deal It in Wonder Labyrinth. Wow, I totally missed that one. That combines two of my favorite things, because I love me some Record of Lodoss War, especially the intro to Chronicles of the Heroic Knight, which for some Soul Cycle deep lore, greatly influenced the aesthetic I had in mind for Soul Dancer. Go check out that opening sometime. Castlevania and Record of Lodoss War. Good, my platformer chocolate and my anime peanut butter. Loving it. Oh, you were a Sega guy? I can respect that. Everybody at my school was they were Nintendo guys. That's just how it was. Yeah, that was back when you could only have one. Now I have both, but my Genesis is collecting dust on the shelf. I really need to get more games for it. I feel like I'm neglecting it, letting it down. For shame. All right, let's go shopping. Oh, nice. So, calculator can use a battle dictionary. Why not? Seems like it'd be more of a negotiator thing, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, why can he suddenly not use a gun? Oh, and we're starting to get some samurai swords. Might be time to make a samurai. Oh, that's right. This store doesn't actually have guns. I may have to go to where the guns are. Ramia harp. I think we know what they really mean. What does that do? Interesting. Let's see if we can find a gun. Okay, Wonder Labyrinth is on Steam. They're releasing a Switch version soon. Okay, good to know. Okay, yes. Oh, there he is. I feel like I'm light in the accessory department. Oh no, they're multiplying again. Nipped that one in the bud. Oh no. They already laid another egg. I'm gonna see what we get. Sometimes when two chocobos really love each other, they hug. I'm getting the sense you guys want to see some actual battle, some actual combat. So let's get to it. Oh, by the way, speaking of combat, the Combat Frame Xseed role-playing game has officially dropped. It is now live. We are offering the convenient ebook version, the classic trade paperback, an 8.5 by 11 size, nice and beefy and floppy. But by reader demand, we also are featuring a premium hardcover And let me tell you, holding that thing, it just transports me back to the days of hardbound WEG Star Wars games and D&D second and third ed. So the link is in the show description. So go get yourself a copy, get a few friends, get out your old hex mat, dust it off, or you can just log on to Roll20 and use the digital version and gen up some characters, build some mechs, have at it. It's all fun and games till a facehugger comes out of the egg. Yeah, then it's hilarious. Oh, hey Ardenon, are you in the Discord?
I am in the Discord, yes.
Oh, I can barely hear you.
Okay, let's try turning it up a little bit. How's that?
No dice.
Any better?
No, keep talking. Might be on my end.
Give me a second. Alright, I'm going to go into settings to make sure I'm not messing something up.
All right, well, it was a bit delayed, but yeah, for the audience's delight, here is the We Mess with Audio segment of the show, as is tradition. All right, let me check my settings. Pretty sure I got everything set up like it was last week.
Okay, I will continue to babble.
No,
I will continue to babble here, so hopefully that's going to be of some help to you determining what the setting should be. With all good luck.
Hey, that just made you echo.
And hopefully the reverb, I like it. Yeah, and chat says it's their favorite segment too. Thanks, Chan. Appreciate it. Always
let's see if I can
to tweak the audio settings.
see if I can mess with this. This should give me an echo. Okay, it didn't give me an echo. I made the game louder. Okay, I'm gonna turn that back off.
But yeah, great news about the game being on Amazon. I thought that was phenomenal for a fine Tuesday morning. And I'm not hearing anything from you, Brian.
Oh yeah, talk about the Xseed RPG.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Pass that around to my Discord friends on the RPGs. Got some positive response. They're looking forward to a little bit of that D6 action.
I can barely hear you through Discord either, so I'm thinking it might be on your end.
Really? Okay, well, let me ramp up my output and see what happens with that.
Oh yeah, talk about the Xseed RPG.
Okay, I'm just taking it up to about 150%. Is that better?
Tell you what, AA, can you go into the voice and video settings in Discord and do a mic test?
Mm-hmm.
And just make sure it's detecting you. Ah, weird. Okay, yeah, let's try that. Otherwise, it might just be something that has to run its course. Oh, patience, chat. The temporal vortex switch must not be pressed until it's time. Like if I had a temporal vortex switch over here talking to you, I'd be back in 1996 buying like Pepsi.com and Nike.com, selling them to the highest bidder.
Right. That weird company Amazon with the odd.
Anyway, I may as well go ahead and share my screen with the Discord. Okay, Ardenon, are you back?
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you at all.
Nope. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Try saying something.
Hello, hello, I am here.
Yeah, you're still really low.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not sure what's different. I haven't changed anything on.
okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know if
Coming
everyone
through.
else.
Coming through quite loud.
Coming through good. No, it's about perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and
Sounds good. I'll leave.
wait for the
I'm
delay,
not
see
going
if
to
it
change
comes
anything back
through
here then.
on stream.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what's different. I haven't changed anything. Apparently, I'm audible.
Okay, yeah, check and hear you now. We're in business. Excellent.
Okay. All
So-
right. So
How have you been?
very, very positive. As I was mentioning, very positive. Doing fine. Just trying to keep up with work, and I think I'm succeeding. But yeah,
Great.
the very positive news was being circulated amongst the RPG groups I'm on Discord. So hopefully some rampant D6 action will start happening.
Yeah, it's to be hoped. And yes, the Combat Frame Exceed RPG does use excited dice. Because, I mean, everybody has those.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now, have you
You can
had...
always crack out the D&D D6.
Yeah. Now, have you had a chance to check out the Combat Frame Exceed RPG yourself yet? Or at least peruse the book?
I have been going through it. I'm not completely. I haven't gone through all of it yet, but I'm probably about 2/3 at this point. I'm liking what I see.
High praise. Thank you. Oh, hey, Empereb. Panel's filling up. How you doing?
Hello. Technically my Friday had pizza. Now hang out.
Now you're talking. Well, we're glad you're here with us. Yeah, that seems like a good team. Okay, AA, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So far, what appeals to you most about the Exceed rule set?
I think it's simple enough and flexible enough that you can do pretty much anything. I think you can bring pretty much any mech or any land-based, sea-based, air-based vehicle in there, and you get a real run for your money. you're not limited by, in my mind at least, what you've provided as far as, well, here are the mechs. Okay, well, I'm stuck with those mechs. No, design away.
And what I will point out, though, is that the provided mecha are lovingly illustrated by you. Did a bang-up job.
Well, thanks. I enjoyed doing the illustrations as well.
Yeah, and I know I did, and our backers enjoyed your illustrations, especially when they contributed at the Build-A-Mech level and got to work with you.
Well,
So yeah,
those have been some of the most fun. Those have been some of the most fun, working with the backers. Come into it saying, "Okay, I think I know what you want to do." Give them a design, and it's like, "No, let's try this." That's been a hoot.
Yeah. But I can attest from personal experience that you were correct about the versatility of the mech design rules, because where this system came out of, and yeah, those in chat who are talking about this, like the D6 system is open gaming license now, which is good, even though it is not the D6 system. It's just a system that uses D6s. I find it's different enough from WEG to be its own animal, but it did come out of playing like the old 90s RPGs like West End Star Wars and even DC Heroes, and even old games like Starfleet Battles, where, well, especially one deficiency I found in WEG was they talk about how, oh, there's no such thing as like a stock light freighter, and they talk about all the modifications that like Han Solo and Dengar made to their ships, but none of the core books have rules for modifying your ship, right? Like, you gotta go, yeah, you gotta go digging through like all these obscure splat books to find like, okay, how do I like soup up the engine? How do I add a quad laser cannon? How do I add a military grade hyperdrive, right?
Right.
And yeah, one thing that I ran into, which will probably appeal to you, is, well, okay, so you've added a part that makes your craft more powerful. Well, there's always a trade-off, right? Like in the real world, it's going to draw more power, it's going to be expensive, like it's at least going to add weight. Am I making sense here?
Generation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So I tried to work that in there, and I think the rules and the playtesting we've done with it, because we've actually done 15 years of live field testing on this game. I did not just make it up over a weekend.
Okay, and on top of that, Megabuster Shepard is throwing out the question: will the game pass the Jeffro test?
I wait with bated breath to find out. I should really send him a complimentary copy.
There you go. There you go. Get that review done real fast.
Yeah, but yeah, long story.
And I think that's
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, but long story short, so yeah, you can make pretty much any mech you can think of. The playtesters did, and they come up with some wild stuff. But yeah, you've got to take the trade-offs into account. You can't just go and pack it with a small arsenal, or just jack up its speed until it can fly around the world like Christopher Reeves and Superman, right? Without rearranging some stuff, without upgrading other things, right? It's like, okay, upgraded the weapons. Well, now I need a more powerful generator. Well, now I need more powerful drives because I've added weight, which means I've got to boost the generator again, etc., etc. But
yep, until you might just accidentally bump yourself out of that frame because it can't fit that stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think it's too restrictive to the point that you can't emulate what's in the books. Like, you totally can, and even go beyond that.
Well, I think the interesting thing that I've had a couple of discoveries about some other games. I never played superhero games when I was doing role-playing. So I'm now involved in a Champions game. We're only at the point of rolling up characters. And
oh boy.
I was kind of like, well, I don't know. Well, fortunately, the person who's game mastering is is helping everybody out. So it's just a matter of, I want this. You've got X number of points to spend. I like to spend them in these areas. But I'm finding that what's really interesting is the I don't know what was it called again, the challenges or the negative effects that you have to take. Do a pretty good job of balancing out with the abilities that you build onto that character. So I'm looking forward to playing this. It has the same. I was getting kind of the same kind of vibe from your game that I was getting from building that Champions character.
Interesting, because I have genned many characters in Champions. I have not played a lot of Champions.
Well, I'm gonna get a chance with, I think, 3 other players just to demo that. It's an upcoming game release that I'm playing in. So
apparently
it should be fun to test that out.
Yeah, apparently Agrius was a character I had to protect. Oh well, it was still fun to wipe the whole enemy field with one spell. I regret nothing. But this gives you more time to talk, so please continue on with what you're talking about.
I just mentioned that this is the new game release that fits into the hero system. It should be fun to play it out and get a feel for it. So that's another one that was fun illustrating. At least throwing a few illustrations in that one.
Oh, I bet you get all the bonus XP for doing your own character portrait every time. It's gotta be great.
Well, I haven't done anything yet, so I gotta get myself charged up for that.
All right, let's do this again. But yeah, every time I have played Champions, it's been a ton of fun. The rules are kind of granular, but they do let you do anything you've seen a superhero pull off in a comic. It really does have that tightly edited, well-paced, like Silver Age combat feel to it.
I don't know if we're actually intentionally doing this, but it feels like we're putting together a golden age team. Very few characters actually have powers. They more have skills and abilities. Nice. And it's going to be, I think, a lot of fun playing that street level character and seeing how to suss that one out versus throwing on the cape and flying around the city.
Yeah. The system should be able to handle both easily. Megabuster Shepard is wondering if that's the Rick Stump game. Directed at you, AA. Okay. Ardenon confirms. Yes, it is. Bradford Walker wants to know what edition of Champions. I am curious as well. Is there any way to skip this? Nope. Oh well, it's not that long.
It seems someone wants to know if graphene can go boom. Considering I might know that was a feature. But I don't know if the rule set has that.
Well, if you kind of read between the lines... yeah, hold on. Let me check. Like, that's definitely going to be in the Coalition Year 40 supplement because Eisenford has a weapon based on that. But that's a good
This edition
question.
Champions in Hero System should be a lot of fun. There's plenty of relatively inexpensive base books. I picked up one on one of the sites for $20. Gives you everything you need to play with. I think that's the other solid thing about harkening back to what you're doing relative to some of these older games is you've got a complete rule set. You might have an additional supplement. You might have more to add to the game later. But if you wanted to, you could play anything you needed to with what you've got in your hand when you pick this up.
Okay, so I'm checking the rules here. So, now, this defies a simple answer at the moment. However, one thing that currently is in the rules is that you can detonate a mech's generator, okay? And every point of rating of the generator immediately inflicts an area of effect attack with a radius in hexes equal to the size category of the mech and deals 1d6 in equivalent size category damage to everything within that radius. Well, then there are also graphene capacitors, which Exceeds have, which store a certain number of damage dice. So the question then arises, well, hey, wait, aren't those graphene capacitors made from monomolecular thin sheets of carbon that are folded multiple times until they're about the size of a pack of cigarettes? Yes, they are. Is their energy storage ability dependent on the fact that they stay folded up? Yes. Well, wait, would that energy be released all at once if they were unfolded? Yes. You do the math. That's all I'm going to say. But that is canon. Yep. That's official.
Yep. Roll that energy right into that explosion. Retributive strike.
That's right.
Cascading effect.
You're talking about the XCD100. Beautiful machine. Yeah, we're going to see that.
Yes.
Well, that's coming.
But I was more talking about the current system. You get thing go boom, then other thing go boom.
Yeah. In good time. Patience, my friend. We don't want to spoil the surprise yet. But yeah, I do plan on doing a Coalition Year 40 supplement. So I look forward to coming up with the rules for that.
Well, we'll make a nice addition in hardcover format. I'm waiting for that too.
Yeah, we'll see how the hardcover does. And also, as AA mentioned, it is currently on Amazon. I have begun the process of going wide and offering the Exceed RPG on DriveThruRPG. However, I did find that DriveThruRPG's POD system and even their ebook system, because they only accept PDFs. They will not accept EPUBs like Amazon will, which is what I currently have the CFXS RPG formatted in. They require different formatting than Amazon does, so I'm going to have to go back in and just make new versions of all the files, which is probably going to take me like a weekend. But I will definitely let you guys know when it's available.
And that is great news to hear. Getting it out to the DRTPG folks, I think will be a big deal.
Yeah. I have experience with that.
Speaking of going wide.
Yeah?
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh, speaking of going wide, I'm kind of wondering how the whole indie author thing is now, since pretty much Amazon's in, you would say, the game over stage. It's no longer going to probably be where indie does anything long term.
Great question. I find that the more tyrannical and just broken Amazon gets, the closer we get to my prediction of Neo patronage. Because what I'm hearing through the indie grapevine is more and more authors are going with crowdfunder models like me and John Delarose, or just going wide like through Draft to Digital or Kobo or Lulu or DriveThruRPG, or they've built big websites, big blogs, and they're just offering the products directly through their websites, and they get to keep 100% of the profits.
and that it's actually very easy to put up your own store on your website these days.
Easy, but a bit expensive. If you don't have
it
tech
is.
savvy.
Yep, it can be. What may be interesting too is the transition phase is kind of a federation of indie authors, indie creators, where like you and John, partner, not necessarily having the same website, but you have your own websites, but you talk each other up, much like on Twitter, and make sure that you might have links. I'm kind of thinking back to like the old web rings in the 90s.
Yeah, bringing those back.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing with Nick Cole and Jason Onspach is prototyping that kind of Federation thing. Their war game books actually seems to be their long-term plan, not at Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge, they have the built-in Amazon fan base and the insider group that still pays at least 20% of what it's worth in cash flow, but it's not really good for the wide model Federation model they're heading towards, but that's why they've already begun the war game books with both Forgotten Ruin and now the Ice and Monsters from the former Force Recon Marine they just published.
Right. Yeah, you could easily have a federation of sites that have their own little islands of mill sci-fi, futuristic adventure, mythic adventure. Any number of things could be part of that. There's some other tools that might be coming to the fore as well, which might be kind of interesting. IPFS, Internet, what does it stand for? It's essentially a static blockchain file system. Not so good for blogs, but if you have to store stuff long term, and it's going to be relatively static in nature, could be a nice augment to active internet sites. Just taking a look at the Matrix methodology. It's the open source communication protocols, similar to what you see on Discord, but it would be a protocol that would allow for multiple interfaces to talk, and then federated sites that shared islands between them could interact as they chose.
Let me check chat here. Oh, we've got Escape Velocity. Always good to see you. Christopher Recording has to be able to get some rack time. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. And Nuggetbuster Shepherd agrees. Nick Cole and Unspot going directly for that veteran audience is a gold move. Agreed. They know their audience.
Yep, it's almost a built-in audience for them, and I think that's an excellent idea. Keep those guys happy, and then add more people on to that core.
Yeah, brilliant. So there definitely is
the reading in.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'll let you finish. You already had a run going.
Okay, and I was putting the cap on my response to your question, Breb, which is, yeah, there's definitely indie life after Amazon. We don't yet know what the long-term solution is going to look like, but we're getting a picture forming up of the short to mid-term solution. The end.
Yeah, what I was going to say before you capped off on that was Galaxy's Edge Legionnaire was kind of reading in between the lines. Like, I've read all of them, I've gone through most of the mainline stuff, and Puritor is a very interesting book along with Gods and Legionnaire. But Legionnaire, that one is like a critique you could take from an Afghanistan soldier of the American Empire. You just replaced it with the Galactic Republic, and um, Legion instead of U.S. Army, but it's like they've said that they're not trying to, and I know Nick has Jason restrain him because Strange Company, he goes all crazy, but they were how should I say, so spot on about the Savages and their critique of the American Republic in the form of the Galactic Republic. It's kind of just like, yeah, they did just figure it out. File off Star Wars serial numbers, file off U.S. Army serial numbers, kabam, Legion stormtroopers in Afghanistan. Now we can say everything we want to say.
Yeah,
They did a good job with the mixture of that as well.
Yeah, that.
Well, I
go
would say
ahead.
the Nether Ops. Oh, the Nether Ops part of the books. I'm not trying to go in spoiler territory for anyone who's not deep in the lore, but Nether Ops and the I can't remember the specific little section that you follow due to multiple parts in different books. Oh, the Carnival, as they called it, the Carnival part of Nether Ops. There's a, you can read in between the lines of that's the Black Ops of the Black Ops of CIA that doesn't even exist, and
Right.
what we've all guessed. And I don't know how deep their contacts are, but they had a Green Beret write their subseries called Dark Ops, so I wouldn't be surprised they had an inkling of what really goes on.
Well, even if they don't have an inkling, it was a pretty solid description. It had the verisimilitude to it.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute, chat. JDA doesn't do the daytime streams anymore? When did he stop doing that? Huh.
No, he's doing the screen. He's doing the streams. He's doing streams. I think Escape Villa was mentioning it. He's missing them.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Miss isn't, like, doesn't catch instead of, like, pining for. Okay. Truthfully corrected.
Yeah, I was in the audience today for John's stream, so.
I was gonna say, but yes, I do agree with him. Everybody needs to get on Gab. Speaking of alternative platforms, because Twitter is, if anything, even more advanced down the censorship road than Amazon, and Gab is really blown up. I'm on there. I know JDA's on there. I know some folks in the panel are on there, but I'll leave that for them to say. But yeah, highly recommended. Get on Gab. Torba's doing great stuff.
We're just hiding out there. We're just hiding out there and what do you want to call it? Lurking. Yeah, lurking. That's what it is.
Oh, that's always the first step to joining a new online scene. You want to work for a while, learn the culture. Oh, let's find a combination that works. Come on. That heals the enemy too. So does that. Having no luck here. Well, I got some other calculator, because that's better than nothing. Okay, there we go. That's good. That's only friendlies. Let's do some curing. Oh, cool. Escape Velocity says there's a sci-fi and fantasy writers group on Gab. Also a comics group and gaming group. Good to know. Oh, and good night, Matthew Martin.
Yeah, I have a account on there that I've been holding, kind of like my back in, I think it was like Gamergate. I made a Twitter account that I just didn't do anything with, and then I activated, I don't know, around 3 years later and been using. Wondering if I need to do the same with Gab, get active on it now.
I would recommend it. I think others would too. Because it's where the action is.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt to have that account active.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're reaching a critical mass that the universal social media platform is not going to exist for probably quite a few years until all the dust settles and the victor is declared.
But it's interesting too that we never really had a universal social media platform back when the internet started out. We had,
Yeah, we had those forums used to be or chats, chat rooms before even forums. Like I hanged out in forums.
Bulletin boards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, or you had Unix talk. I mean, it literally, text chat to wherever you wanted to on the planet, as long as there was a Unix mainframe sitting there. So we're going back to, isn't it? Probably a good thing. Get to, think about it again, reset, and figure out. So how can we effectively, or well, I shouldn't even say effectively. How can we productively talk to one another again?
I think the only place where there was technically discussion between people was can't remember the name of the site, but it was nicknamed SA shorthand, and then 4chan, the old one before all the purging happened. And how 4chan still is infamous, and a lot of people now and then peek back in to see what's the real scoop.
Right. And again, I think you're seeing islands forming where you've got people, small groups of people talking to one, and in almost all cases, I think that's better than shouting in the lunchroom.
Well, see, getting banned from Twitter just establishes your street cred. To my shame, I've not managed to do that yet. Somehow. Although I will say, it is just a breath of fresh air. Because I try to post to Gab and Twitter every day. And on Twitter, when I'm composing a tweet, I'm like, okay, I gotta self-censor. I gotta think, okay, how do I word this? I gotta be careful to avoid the censors. But then on Gab, I can just say whatever I want. And I'll catch myself falling into that Twitter mindset and be like, oh wait, no, it's Gab. I don't have to, I can just speak freely. And
yep, I know of at least one other author who's trying to get himself banned from Twitter, and he's not succeeding yet. And he's thinking that he's gonna be looked upon as a faker if he doesn't make it happen.
Oh.
Sad reality is you might have been ghettoed banned and not actually shadowed banned or banned, and they just said, you're better off left in the ghetto.
Well, then again, I did just hit 4,000 followers yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, but I have no doubt I'm somehow shadow banned, but there are ways around it. Like, a lot of hard work.
It's actually really weird. I've seen a lot of, I would say not outright right-wing people, but conservative types that somewhat understand what's going on. And they've been going from YouTube live streaming or whatever to Twitch. And I know Twitch is conservative, not conservative, progressive hellhole, but somehow they're getting less censored or feel safer on Twitch than they do on YouTube, Well, all the people who like do game streaming and care about making like the real income with streaming, which is either personality or gaming or both, are going from Twitch because it's terrible algorithmic wise for discovery to YouTube. I'm just finding that whole interesting that people are getting censored are going to Twitch and they have a big enough audience they don't care about getting discovered, while people who want to be algorithmically discovered and make a conventional streamer life are going to YouTube if they're brand new.
Yeah. Well, I can explain why those who are afraid of getting censored feel safer on Twitch. Um, Another streamer on Cozy explained it. It has to do with how like you can basically do a stream and then there's a trick to it, like if you get a strike or something, or no, you can just like private your account or something and then still like stream or post, but like there's some weird like loophole in their like punishment system that lets you exploit it, where you can just like, okay, I'll just like go private and then just keep streaming. But yeah, they are less censorious than YouTube is, at least if you know the exploit.
Actually, chat, Velo explained it, and I was thinking the same logic. Twitch has less money to play on censors. I also know that they're technologically inferior. They do not have any of the trained software, machine learning to. They just don't. That's why they're terrible at discovery. Why YouTube is a growing platform for live streaming is because the algorithm hunts, when it's not censoring, for people that make more money for YouTube when live streaming. Well, Twitch is only big whales succeed, maybe a few middle people, and then everyone is trying to survive.
Makes sense.
And if all you're really trying to do is talk, not so much make money, that provides a nice environment for which in which to do that.
Yeah, you're burning Silicon Valley cash. Why not do it?
Right.
Here. Yeah, my buddy Adam was telling me how he's still doing YouTube, but he's recently moved to Twitch and is going like gangbusters there. He's doing really well. For a lot of the reasons
That's
you
excellent to
mentioned.
hear.
Yeah. I'm proud of him. Ringo was proud of him. Mrs. Eisenhower was proud of him. Oh! Got shot. Well. I can take that line down. Oh, I can't act in here. Apparently I am. Here, look at the Black Mage's hat floating on the water. Not gonna get her. Nope. How about that? Nope. Well, we always wanted to do something to get that JP. Go faster. Alright, shot the last one. And we're good. She's alright this time since I didn't blow her up. Okay, so they're going to execute the princess, which we know is actually a ploy by Gefgarian. But Reinhardt is just rushing headlong into it like a good boy. Surely this will not end poorly.
Really, never happens.
Oh, Agres is back. Oh, all is right with the world again. And I should be able to control her now. So that's good. She's not going to be, like, freezing my guys while getting to the enemy. Although I do admire her single-mindedness.
So does the AI actually cheat in this game, or are you actually just dealing with them being stronger than you?
No, neither. It's just that, so Agres' like, Holy Sword attack hits in a plus pattern. And, like, if one of your guys is adjacent to one of her targets, she won't, like, think twice. She'll be like, well, greater good. And we'll target both of you.
Two birds with one stone AI, so the AI knows when to go for it.
Yeah, but she's the only one who does that. So I think it's kind of a character thing.
I believe the devs would do stuff like that. Back then, there was a lot of sneaky shit they all did. Like, we'll do just random things that you're going, why? Why are you doing this to me?
Why not?
My ranks are getting a little full here. Anyway. Okay. Okay, we need to learn her some stuff. Yes, gain JP up first thing. Make it easier to learn this stuff. Okay. He's kind of stagnating, but then again, he's really good. Don't know if I want to reinvent the wheel. Just for the sake of character growth. Okay, and giving her steel just really has borne no fruit at all. So I'm going to put that back on there. It's all a process of figuring out what works and what doesn't. Ooh, okay. So our calculator can learn one more variable. So he's already got CT, which is basically niche order, and then level, and then prime number. So what else should I give him, panel and chat? We've got enemy XP, we've got height, and then we have 5. I have enough to learn 1.
Okay, so XP is what? What does that do for you?
That allows me...
parameter?
That gives me the variable of enemy XP totals. So how many experience points a unit has.
Okay.
So like if I do experience 5, the spell will automatically hit any character whose experience total is a multiple of 5.
Mm-hmm. And height is where they are on the vertical plane.
Correct.
Well, for flexibility, as you were experiencing the last segment, it wasn't always flexible, but height is probably going to be your your most flexible in this case out of those.
Now, I will point out that the only numeric variable I have now for him is prime number. So, like, these 4 have to do with the enemy. And then these 4 are like what factor of this gets hit. Making sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So if I get height, he'll only be able to do prime number heights.
Got it. Got it.
Interesting.
Alright,
I
chat
guess
is
I'd
done.
then lean. Yeah, I guess I'd lean towards 5 then. Complete the 3, 4, and 5.
That's what I'm leaning toward. So there we go. Now we could do primes and 5. I'm happy with that.
So did I hear height right? Is that like increasing your range? Because
No. It's, like, what altitude the enemy is at.
oh, okay.
Because
So
the game
if
keeps...
everybody's at height 4, target height 4, everybody at height 4 gets hit with whatever is tossed.
Oh, that's interesting mechanic.
Yeah, calculators are sick. So I've got 2 of them.
Calculators literally being weapons.
Oh yeah, man. And they can use most white and black and status spells. And it takes no MP, so it costs them no mana to cast. And it's basically a guaranteed hit. There are some spells that aren't, but it's way harder to defend against. Oh, and they're not limited by range. They can hit the whole map.
So using the classic name of calculators, they can calculate their spells. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only drawback is to actually learn their spells, they have to go through the other magic user classes and spend job points to learn those classes' abilities. But once they do, and especially using the 99.99 job point exploit, which most magic users are susceptible to, that's not that hard. Because yes, I'm just cheesing the heck out of this game. Go ahead.
No, that it makes sense. Like if you can use a ability to not need to use mana, but use the ability, and then cheese the way to get there. Why not do it?
It's like a Vancian wizard with an HP 41C.
Yeah, so for example, notice how, for Summoner, she has 9,999 JP. I didn't earn all those.
Oh boy.
Yeah, what you do is, because of an oddity of what can only be called word processing, so the, like normally if there were something I could learn and could select, let's see if I can do it here. But like basically, the square button, I believe, is like a page down. Or it might be the shoulder buttons. I can't remember. But if you like, okay. So like for example, if I highlight an ability I haven't learned yet, I already forgot how this works. Okay, it's not going to work here because I can't afford anything else, but like, if I highlight Antidote, which I can afford, and then hit the button that automatically pages down, and if I couldn't afford Phoenix down, but then tried to buy the Antidote while the cursor, it'll put the cursor on this, but leave this selected, due to a glitch, it will give me 9,999 job points.
Oh. Yeah, that stuff speedrunners find and then just break a game.
Yeah, I can't find anyone who can do it because I can't learn any other stuff here, but I'll wait and show you. Oh wait, I might be able to do it here. Yeah. See that?
Oh.
How do I do that? Okay, I gotta look this up again. It's been too long since I've done it. One moment, chat. I think it's all good if we have this refresher. Okay, here it is.
Always good to read the fine manual occasionally.
Thank you for backing me up. Okay, here we go. Note, this only works on classes where you can scroll down and up on the skill list. Also, you have to have enough GP to buy a skill. Doing this cheat on the Summoner class will allow you to buy all the skills, but the game won't classify Summoner as a mastered class. So you won't get the little master star. Okay, when you go into a class's skill list, select any skill you can buy. When the confirmation window comes up and asks if you want to buy the skill, hold square, press up or down. Oh, okay. So you hold it. Ah, see? See how that's working? So that does like a page down. Now, if the skill I go to I can't buy, then it'll do the glitch.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do any of that here, unfortunately, because I only have 181. So, like, I can buy one thing, but then I'll be out. So I can't show you right now. But perhaps after the next battle. Oh, and good night, Mega Buster Shepard. Kind of missed him saying he had to take off. But anyway. That's how that trick works. I'll have to show you guys later. Okay, let's knock out one more battle here. Let's rescue the princess.
That was a great battle.
Okay, who else is going to go on squad 2? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to send in our girl. This is going to be good. Another veiled Christian reference. I'm not sure what they're doing. Like, is that a gallows or is that a guillotine? Is there a bucket up there with like electric eels in it they're going to release? I'm not really sure what that scaffold's doing, but oh well.
First time.
Uh-oh. Oh, Reinhard. Will your slavish devotion to chivalry never be... I don't know. Is reality going to mug him enough to let go of that? We'll find out.
Once again, Gafgarian makes his move.
It's got to work one of these times. Yep, so they've got the Dark Knight, but now I have the Holy Knight in my army.
Wind. Defeat everyone, i.e. kill them all and let someone else sort this out on the other side.
Oh, it's like Martella's here in spirit. It's one of his favorite sayings. So of course we're going to have a big old intellectual debate here on the philosophy of warfare.
Oh boy.
Those are some of the best kinds, especially with axe heads.
Yeah. What a liberal in the Middle Ages. Okay, move out of there, Archer. We're gonna need that gibbet. Got a heretic here. Oh, and he's going straight for the Holy Knight. I tickled. And he was at full HP, so that didn't really help him that much. Okay, shut up, dude. I won't do stuff. Sweet tater, we hardly knew ye. Okay, it's going to force me to look at it from this angle. Okay. So I'm using my calculator here. Well, one of them. But the one who knows everything. So I've selected math skill, which is the calculator's main skill. So then I can choose CT, which is basically initiative, level, which is level and XP are self-explanatory, and then height. So like, let's go with height. So height prime number is going to hit everyone that's on a Mountain Dew yellow square here. So those are prime heights. So do divisible by 5. No one's on a 5. Okay, that one archer up there on the scaffold is on 4. Ooh! Alright, those 3 on top of the wall are 3s. So I can get rid of a knight and 2 time mages. I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, let's flare him up. Oh, he's immune. She wasn't. Alright, that's fine. I just wanted to take those guys out. They were the real threat. Man, once again, I gotta say, I love the music in this game. In fact, I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. I see she's got faith in us. He's hard to see. I'm gonna close with him. Ah, turned invisible. Got the right idea trying to take out my other calculator though. Ooh, feisty.
Oh boy.
Do a little healing. Oops, didn't see that it was going to get him. Oh well. Enough of my guys are getting healed, it was worth it. Especially her. It's okay.
I just need to get the pummeling some more.
Mm-hmm. Alright, now we get to check out our brand new number 5 here. Oh, so he can get himself. That's good. Yeah, I'm liking that. Whoops, didn't see who was going to hit my knight. Oh well, she shrugged it off.
I think I'm gonna leave a mark on the other one though.
Boink.
Yep. It's ridiculous how much you're talking. Hope chat doesn't mind me kind of speeding through the dialogue. Because you've heard it all before. Their ideals are at variance. Yeah. Ha! I gotta love out of potion. And enemy knights just mill around because they got nothing else to do. Looked like he found something there, though. Yeah, taking out those two time mages at the very beginning really screwed up their plan. So I'm glad I did it.
Kind of left him with the melee attack only.
Yep. So right here is an example of something she would do as an AI. So notice my knight is right here. So yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm choosing to do this stuff. And hey, it worked. Because it dealt 50 damage to both, but it stopped him as well. So I'm calling that a win.
I'm noticing that this is allows friendly fire from AoE attacks.
Oh yeah. I'll just have him heal her. So we're all good. We're all good.
It's like it never happened.
Yep, except Gevgarian is still stopped. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh boy. That is really tempting. Because I can hit 1, 2. I can hit 2 of them. But it will hit and probably kill my knight. Okay, let's put that on the back burner. Let's see if we can find something else. And sometimes it can be kind of hard to see who's targeted because it blends in with the grass. Oh yeah, the one problem with height is it's impossible to hit height 0 or anything 0. And do I have anything that will only hit them and not me? Yeah. Might need to sacrifice my knight. Because honestly, she's doing like 50 damage a turn. Meh. Okay, yeah, let's kill her. Greater good.
Resurrect later.
Yeah. I got Reinhardt right there. He can shout her back to life. He's good at shouting at people. Like one heck of a drill instructor. I did not give you permission to die!
Ooh, Afghanian toast.
And that's what it is. It's kind of your fault, buddy. Looks like your intel network isn't as good as Delita's. We're going to try to get out of the danger zone here.
Like the retreat for now, but it'll only be me leaving.
Yeah. The rest of you stay here and pick up. Yeah. I think we'll have some plastic cups on the ground over there. Oh, hey. So that's good. Let's do that. Chat's really quiet. I wonder if there's anyone left. So I tried to start earlier so that more people could last with us. Right, but apparently it was a bad time. Well, live and learn.
Sometimes it's just the way that's going to work out. Sometimes it's better for the East Coast, sometimes better for the West Coast, sometimes just better for Central.
Oh, yeah. The vicissitudes of an online connected world. Wow, that just hits everyone. Okay, I need to check something. Oh, they're at full HP, so yes. Okay. So this is only going to help me. Because those two are at full. And all that cost me 0 mana. Man, I love these guys.
Oh boy.
Indeed. Hey, get your coffee if you need it, chat. Okay, note to self, haste Agrius. I don't think I could get both of these guys, so yeah. Let's do this. Oh, they're ganging up on her. Okay, she is really tough. Oh, that wasn't bad.
Bad.
Hey, what's up?
No, there's a few bodies. But it seems like there's a brawl going on over there.
Yeah, sure is. Here's something else in Discord. Nope. It's still just us, which is fine with me. We're having a cozy stream.
Indeed. Just interesting watching the selection process on the calculator.
Yeah, I think there's a faster way to do it. Like, I think in here it might tell me. I don't know. It would be really helpful. Okay, so he can get himself with CT5. Good to know. Okay, I know what to do here. I know exactly what to do. Yeah. That's better.
Little temporal enhancement.
Oh, paying dividends already. Don't know what any of that means, but I like how it works. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just smack down the whole area with my big holy sword.
Yeah, which has a chance of inflicting stop. A pretty good chance. Yeah. And there we go. The Time Mage's corpse is turned into a crystal and a chest. Lovely. Alright. Took him out. Time to play Meat Shield. Oh, nice. Yeah, it was an actual shield that blocked that arrow. I do love that it shows you how much HP an attack is going to do. So, that's way better than the Stasis Sword attack. Ki. Oh, well. Let's get this. Alright, what's in there? Hey, cool. Book staff. And the selection process resumes.
Are you trying to find something that only affects your guys through the mathematical system it's using in the background?
Yeah, either all mine or all the enemy. And in this case, I've got one that affects all my guys. You can tell by the like the units that the spell is targeting have like those yellow-green squares under them.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna find a nice buff to use here. Let's go with Protect. Ratchy Protect. Here we go. Do a little more defense against physical attacks. Because that's all the enemy has left. So I took out their magic users first thing.
Yeah, because you... Yeah, toasted those time mages immediately.
Always a good decision.
I'm guessing time mages can do very nasty things if left around.
Incredibly. Like, lots of debuffs, lots of buffing their own side. Yeah, I got him. And if they're high enough level, they can do a meteor drop. Like, they can just drop a meteor on your head.
So literally just... You gave me time, so I went timey-wimey and pulled a meteor from somewhere.
Yeah, so for example, because you can cast time magic with calculation, let's get down, because these are grouped by magic discipline. So here's the black magic, all the elemental stuff. Okay, so time magic starts here, so like haste, slow, stop, don't move, float, reflect, demi 2. So like this one just cuts an opponent's HP in half. Well, let's see here. Yeah, that doesn't really help, but I believe that cuts it down to a quarter. And then here's like the mediator stuff. So yeah, the calculator can't cast the most powerful spells of every other spellcasting class because like they don't have access to meteor time magic. Although they do have access to flare. But yeah, they don't have meteor for some reason. Oh well. They do have death. Oh, and look at that. Ah, darn. The level 5 death will work on their archer, but it'll also work on my other calculator. But is she the only one left? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And there we go.
Oof.
Yeah, she'll be back. Now, what's really fun is when I get my second calculator built up and I make some mimics. Because then I can just hit the whole spread where it's like every single variable death. And that kills a board, that clears the board really fast. So, okay. Marching from victory to victory.
A cutscene.
It looks like Delita's caught up with the princess again. Who's on a hunger strike. Ooh, that's cold. Oh. Hey, I remember this guy. I've seen him before. I believe he was the dude who paid those thieves to ambush us way back when. Oh, he spilled the beans. Dun dun dun.
De-indoctrination beginning or deprogramming?
Put the coffee on and get an ice bucket. We're going to be here all night.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yeah, this game's story is as crooked as a hound's hind leg.
We just substituted you, girl.
Yep.
You here for literally the oldest game in the world.
Yep. Man, they're going full Roman Praetorian Guard style intrigue and king making here. I love it. Okay, so to catch people up, the Senate, or certain factions within it, schemed to control who would go on the throne. So they took advantage of one princess dying, and then they killed off two princes and made it look like illness. Found like some orphan to take the place of the dead princess, banking on the queen being too old to have another child, but she did. So, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oops.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
She somehow had another kid. Oh boy.
Yeah, so now there's this baby who's technically the heir apparent, and a war is brewing over who gets to be regent. Which is what
And this girl's now just basically, and this girl's loose end by full definition now.
Yep. Which is why your brothers conspired to kidnap her.
Oh.
Yeah. Like the main character's older brothers are responsible for this.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's what Gavgarian was talking about. Like, hey, there's still time to, like, rejoin your family, man. Like, they're doing this for the common good.
They're trying to keep the kingdom legitimate here. Come on. Stop encouraging the war that's going to come. But Hero going to be Hero, and Hero's going, nope, I got to do the great moral thing, even though I might blow up the whole world.
Yep. Yeah, Bradford in chat. I cast Quad to Knights of the Round. I immediately follow up with a duplicate. Player gets to make dinner for 4 hours, for 4 from scratch. Yeah, while waiting for it to go off. Good times. Yeah, and so now here, Vormov is introducing the possible intrigue that the Queen's infant son might not be the King's son. Larg, I believe, is one of 2 princes who are contenders for regent. And he might be the heir apparent's real father. So again, twists within twists.
So not only she was not... So not only she was not supposed to have another kid, she was increasing odds through not legitimate means. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. In any case, the old man's plan was ruined. Yeah. Yeah, the Senator's plan just detonated in their faces.
Well, how did she believe she was princess? How did that happen? How does she believe this?
Well, because
she's grown up in the family.
Yeah.
Oh, they killed it before she even knew. Old enough to know. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, according to him, the real princess died of, like, some childhood disease or something. I don't know. It's kind of left open. Yeah, and then he just follows up with, you know, it doesn't really matter if you're a princess or not. We're just going to proceed anyway. Yeah, they're just holding her as a trump card.
You don't need to believe. You're just good enough for anyone to believe.
Yep. If anything, she is awesome blackmail material against those senators.
Oh, it was the... Oof.
Wheels within wheels.
The more things go on, the more things never change.
Yep. So I love this game. One reason I love this game.
Oh, great. They want a figurehead now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, another angle I love about Final Fantasy Tactics is, like, in every other Final Fantasy game, you're like, oh, the white mage. Oh, look, she's so cute and cuddly. She's casting the healing spells. Like, okay, here's a world where, like, the white mages are in charge. And it's the most Byzantine, cutthroat, cloak and dagger, like, backhanded, vicious society in any Final Fantasy game. Oh, that's great.
This ain't your dad's Final Fantasy.
Nope.
Oh, we have the mixed GM John Dacre showing up in chat.
Hey! Good to see you. Speaking of your incomprehensible gibberish. What's up? I mean, come on, if your choices are, alright, look, so you can try to get away from us, but then the second most powerful guy in the kingdom has guys out, like, on every road and every street corner who, if they find you, will kill you to cover up his loose ends. Or you can stick with us, and you can be a puppet on the throne. Not much of a choice, if you ask me.
Not much.
Ah, good point, John. I'm getting there too. So I think we're gonna wrap up soon.
Do a little buffing up of the characters before closing down.
Yeah, and I love how that that battle we just did took place in this world's version of Calvary. That does seem weird to Yeah, go ahead.
That seems big.
Yeah, they're that cutthroat that they turned like one of their holiest sites into a public execution ground. Wow. Yep, Evilise is based.
What drove them to be this cutthroat? Like, I mean, usually some societies have a reason they're acting like that.
Oh, there's a whole backstory that, at this point, we're pretty much coming off of their version of, like, the 100 Years' War. So, there are a lot of soldiers returning from overseas. Oh, by the way, and Evilise pretty much lost that conflict, so they cannot pay or retain a lot of the soldiers who are coming home, which led to widespread brigandry. So the nobles are cracking down to try to restore order. Then you have the succession crisis, and like the church is now jockeying to gain advantage from that conflict. So it's just a mess.
So you lost a war, and then you have a succession crisis. So the only stable power element, basically anything around the church, is like going, we can make plays here and also try to get everything stabilized before it blows up in everyone's face.
Righto. Hell, she has Mastered Knight. Let's see what else we can do here. Okay. Yeah, range is always good. Plus, I think I have some bows lying around. I think I do. Yep, we'll have a good one. Oh, let's see. Let's go Legolas on her. There we go. Let's see what he can learn. Okay. So now we have XP. Let's do that. And another variable. And she's pretty much maxed out. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, wait. Aha! Need to teach her move +1 from some source. Yeah, because she doesn't have Squire. She skipped over that.
And she can't go back and pick that up then?
Yeah, she can. But I really want her to learn Holy Knight first. Because yeah, she has access to the basic classes here.
There's no benefit to go back and do that right now.
Not right now, although... Okay, interestingly, I'm not seeing Squire on here. It's kind of forcing her into Chemist, but I might be able to unlock it. Although she can do regular Knight, though. Which is interesting. Either way, Chemist is usually a good idea, too. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Holy Knight for a while. I mean, she's doing fine in that class anyway. Yeah, that's right, Bradford. Yeah, it's post 100 years War France. That's pretty much it, yeah. Oh, wrong thing. There we go, that's what I want. So, okay. That's going to do it for Final Fantasy Tactics tonight. Let's just check chat, see if I missed anything. In fact, I know a ways back I saw something. Someone had a question. I think I'm homing in on it.
Not too far back, but Megabuster had a, I think, rhetorical question regarding Forgotten Ruin. Who knew that U.S. Army Rangers would be just as fanatical as orcs and vampires in a fantasy setting? I'm sorry, fantastical. Sorry, fantastical as orcs and vampires in a fantasy setting.
Haven't read that one yet. Oh, that's what I'm not seeing at all, because YouTube randomly selected top chat instead of live chat for me. I hate that. What's even the point?
Yeah.
Just to mess with people, that's what. So speaking of which, someone asked me, like, if I had a time machine, would I go back and prevent Cultural Ground Zero, or could I? And I don't think so. I don't think it's possible.
Time travel is the death of all IP. Can't be done.
Yeah, it was Matthew Martin.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the time travel concept. The Doctor Who, before it blew itself up, universe was great with trying with time travel. But I think the main fundamental thing is you have to have, like, that you, I don't know, time travel, you have to be willing to basically keep track of the timeline, and that the timeline actually can't change. What the person does through the timeline might, and maybe you have things happen because of that, but the path can't change. That's caused by you going around time. But yeah, it is usually a death of an IP when they add that feature.
It's just interesting to see how much time travel the Star Trek the original series did. I mean, what was that? I think third episode, and they're already into time travel. Bad.
Yeah, well, that's because they had so many. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Well, that's because they had so many sets that they were reusing from other productions to save money.
Yep. That's something that doesn't get discussed nearly enough. It's like the reason that this show is on right now, or this episode is on right now, we had access to the Wild West set, and we're using it now. That's why this story is being told.
Yep, the gangster set, the Roman set, ancient Greek set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think what Matthew meant was, like, if I could go back to 1996, could I stop Cultural Ground Zero from happening in 97? And no, I mean, that's way too late. Like, really, the IPs that came out in 1997, which marked the decline into Cultural Ground Zero, were already in production in 96. Right, like the Star Wars special editions and all the tomfoolery that the big two comics companies got up to. I mean, it was already baked into the cake.
Right. I mean, you can roll it back even farther. You probably couldn't have stopped it, back in the 1960s. It was probably already too late then.
Yeah, you can't unbake a cake, right? Yeah, we can only move forward.
Yeah, no, that's the interesting thing from your 1997 and the 2007 for gaming. It does seem to be just like kaboom. Just, yeah, there was stuff like, you could say Stargate Sg1, but in many ways Stargate Sg1 was actually a redoing of, in many ways better, of the original Star Trek formula, with a little military spiciness instead of the more, we're going to do things, and now it's more of, we're going to probably kill some aliens. But besides SG-1, there wasn't really much on the sci-fi front that actually did anything after pretty much The Matrix.
Yeah, credit to
for
David
big
Stewart.
movies.
Yeah, credit to David Stewart for 2007 as Gaming Ground Zero, but yeah, you've got a point there. I mean, there are always outliers. There are always flashes of brilliance out there. But that's what a lot of people miss about Cultural Ground Zero. Like, I never argued that, this is the cutoff date after which everything is garbage. No, I'm just pointing out that that's the date after which a majority, or like when you couldn't count on the latest release from big brand X or big studio Y being any good.
No, it's like there's an ongoing argument in gaming right now about, games are terrible, but when the YouTuber can point, no, they're amazing, but what really people are saying is terrible is X big game is no longer guaranteed to at least be decent. Like,
yeah.
There's people who play Assassin's Creed and they love the Ezio trilogy, but really the franchise was dead by Assassin's Creed 3 after the Ezio trilogy in Renaissance Europe. Like, they literally ran out of ground. The guy who made the game had left Ubisoft. It was over. Like, they've been remaking it and doing the Ubisoft formula, but they didn't do anything new after the Renaissance games.
I think what's interesting, though, about 1997 is that it was such a confluence of all of those things happening at once, where it all just sort of started really collapsing, or you were able to see the collapse.
Yeah. It really could. It really stood out in sharp relief. Yeah, Bradford in chat even says the Enlightenment was the point of no return. I'd agree with that. Gets back to what I was saying earlier about every generation of philosophers that proposes a rupture with a past tradition never suspects that future generations are going to do the same to them and propose additional ruptures until you just deconstruct everything. And that's how you get to ground zero. That's when they lit the fuse.
Where did so I've heard a lot from before on Twitter, the argument of the alignment was basically when things jumped the rails. Now, we didn't see the train crash or at least the signs of the train crash coming for quite a while, but it's when things basically were going down the wrong railroad tracks if it was on the rails for a while.
Yeah, there was... Yeah, go to finish your thought.
I mean, was it the humanist angle? That's a common thing I've heard from more of evangelical circles that maybe sort of guessed what you've been talking about, but I don't totally buy the humanist angle because that's a little, how should I say, doesn't have the suspect I suspect being the prince of the world involved.
Yeah, that's a bit of a forest for the trees moment, blind man groping the elephant. They're not entirely wrong, but here's what it was. Yes, the delayed train wreck is a good analogy. It's kind of that, okay, yeah, they switched onto the wrong track to the point of no return, but they had enough fuel that had been saved up from the previous 1700 years of Christendom to maintain that momentum, which sent them right off the bridge, which is where we are now. But what it was that series of ruptures, and really, I date the first critical rupture to the Reformation, when, as Martel was kind of saying last time, like just the Catholic Church really couldn't fully come to grips with Luther and couldn't fully redress some of the honest criticisms he had, which were accurate, without creating a rupture with the Christian tradition, and it resulted in a tearing of the seamless garment of Christ. And once you have that schism going in the West, well, I mean, there's your first rupture. Okay, so the Reformation says, okay, of the pillars of Western civilization, right, Scripture, the tradition, the teaching of the magisterium, and reason, which upheld Christendom for 1,500 years, okay, we can get rid of the magisterium and a big chunk of tradition. And they expected it to stop there. Well, no, then the Enlightenment comes along and says, well, once we've gotten rid of that, okay, well, why keep Scripture then? And why keep any of the tradition? Like, we just use reason. So it kicks another leg out of the stool. And they expected it to stop there. But then along come, like, the postmodernists who say, well, we don't even need reason. And
it wasn't that long after. So, like, so you have, like, reason, which is, like, 1600s, 1700s, peaking with Americana, the occult Americana. Like, if you dig into any pre-American, like, American Republic history, a lot of occultism and such, even in the founders that were quote Christians, and that includes George Washington. But yeah, they were fully into the reason, occult Christian reason thinking. Not saying Christendom, but that was the thought of the day. The best one I'd think, two founding fathers that would give you an idea of their thoughts would be like Jefferson, Madison, and Benjamin Franklin, because they seemed to have at least the most writings that you can get an idea of how much, yes, they might have been influenced by the church and Christianity being all around in colonial America, but there is that one American, British general talking about New York, and he was surprised of how Las Vegas-like it was. And he was from England, and London wasn't clean, but him going, what the fuck is going on in New York? Being this, like, whores everywhere, all this shit. Like, that says something, I'm just saying.
New York has always been our problem, because it's how the rest of the world thinks of America. They think that all of America is just 42nd Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but that would give some hint of if that was the worst of America, and someone being from England would be
Yeah.
feeling that that was worse than the worst part of London. You're going, that's an interesting scale to have.
Yeah, and the way that
So,
the way that this directly ties into the culture is that, like, up through the Renaissance, everybody in the West understood that art has a purpose, art is objective. The purpose of art is to show forth beauty, to elevate the mind to contemplation of beauty, and since beauty reflects the divine, ultimately to contemplation of the divine, right? The purpose of art is to lift up our minds to ponder God. Okay, that's the vocation of the artist. And nowadays, hardly anybody says that. Like, even self-professed conservatives will like, oh, art's subjective, man, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Well, then you're just a liberal, dude. Like,
I've gone through like the national arts, the at least the good stuff, like anything 1800 and back, and it's objective. I mean, you can just tell. Your mind literally knows when it's art and it's not. Like if the layman doesn't think it's art, you probably don't have art. It's a good rule of thumb.
yeah, and I would argue, and I don't really have time to back it up here, but the innovation of sola scriptura, that each Christian is essentially his own magisterium and can interpret scripture for himself, led directly to subjectivism in the arts, which dictates that the individual can decide what is art and what is not for himself. And yeah, cultural ground zero is inevitable at that point. Once enough people are convinced of that, you're not going to bring it back this side of a crisis.
I think that the challenge that we've got is it's not a line of history. It's more like a tapestry. And when you start nipping away at the threads on the outside, or maybe a couple on the inside, and then start tugging on the tapestry, it will come apart. So that means you don't necessarily trace back where all of the prime movers were. You might not be able to find it, but they'll definitely create a problem over time if you continue to use the tapestry.
So like if you have a tapestry, you find that thread's just bad. You're trying to replace it, and that's what supposedly the Reformation, the Renaissance, the American occult enlightenment, all that was supposed to be doing, but it really was just tugging and fraying the tapestry so much and not realizing that it was tugging a good thread. Like, you don't understand what that thread's doing because, well, you be humans. And now the whole thing just frayed upon you because you finally pulled too hard and kaboom.
You got a reweaving job ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing though, I heard this from, and I understand Stephen Molyneux is still around on the all tech stuff, but it is one thing I've heard before, that the Black Death basically is what caused all this. The start, it was the spark that kicked this all off. Now this is coming from the quote, the good view of true classical liberalism, that we now have less people, so they started fighting for the rights. Individuals were worth more by sheer number, and then the Black Death happened, so that's a hard thing to argue for being in current establishment powers to justify your system anymore, even though that was kind of a black swan event.
Intriguing.
That may be a significant part of it, but I could also see that when you lose a third of your workforce in any one location, you're going to have a draw to pull more of those workers away from someone else for your benefit. So having that fight, that contention, opened the space to say, oh, gee, I'm as the the peasant or as the laborer, I have a little more power. I can agitate for either further freedoms or argue that yeah, I'll run away from my current lord and master to somebody else because the grass is greener over there, and it's more difficult for that original landholder to enforce those individuals to stay with the land. So,
Yeah,
confluence events.
yeah. Actually, something that the academic agent, a British YouTuber, is argued a lot is there's no ground up revolutions or anything. It's always minor, I guess you would say, for the Renaissance, where all this kind of kicked off or proto kicked off early. I mean, even Luther had backers of princes, but minor princes usually have an incentive, or minor elites, as he calls them for our modern day terminology, have a lot of incentive if there's something that can be gained by disrupting the system, because if they have the potential to ground set the new system. The American founding fathers were essentially minor elites, but they were big enough in the colonies that they have a huge incentive to we all hang together or die separately.
Oh yeah.
In
Look at the
scenario
French.
with the American Revolution.
Look at the French Revolution. Everybody thinks it was a peasant revolt. Nah, like Robespierre, Saint Just, those guys, they were all lawyers and minor nobles. Because I mean, you need money to fund a revolution.
Yeah, logistics mandates that.
Yeah,
Never
and
let a
that's
good
why
crisis
our
go to
current
waste.
regime is trying to destroy the middle class. Sorry, go ahead, AA.
I just said never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah,
That's
that's the Helgen dialect, problem, reaction, solution, which is
Yeah.
where a lot of interesting stuff I've seen about the quote real players behind the scenes. That's how they think, is how to use the Helgen dialect to change things, cause COVID, and then create the solution to the vaccine. Then you have the reaction to the vaccine. Well, there's another solution intended after that. And they call it normalization, ironically, for the end.
Yeah. Yeah, our ruling class are hidebound Hegelians, and that's why they react so violently to anything which interferes with that process. Trump. But yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. No, Trump is he's that's the weird thing I have to tell you is like I've seen a lot of theories. I proposed the Q stuff, though I think you and David Stewart were more right. To be wary of that stuff, and opium or copium depends on your point of view still. But it really is like um I don't know, like there is evidence that he did something to mess with their whole plan, because if their plan, like they don't go too fast. They stretch this stuff, like even abortion and other stuff, over decades. Maybe they have one big event, but then there's a release for another 5 years to a decade. But this whole COVID thing, it was like it got accelerated, like warp speed accelerated. Like instead of the variant thing going over decades, it was like scrunched into a year and a half. That waiting for vaccines, and then the whole shenanigans we seen with vaccines, that was scrunched into almost a half a year to 3/4 of a year. It's like the timetables that they usually operate on cannot be done anymore, so they have to try to rush the plan. But now it's coming obvious
Yeah.
to degrees you don't need to be conspiracy theorists. You just go, yeah, interesting, this happened, and then you
Yeah.
wait about 3 weeks to a month, and
Yeah, it's
next
pretty
thing happens.
clear.
So I guess the biggest thing I'm trying to say is, even if he isn't a minor elite playing for power, which he's kind of old to do that, and to some extent, something broke when he came in. Like something's obviously been broken in the clockwork
Yeah, it's
Helgen
clear
dialect
their
over
plan.
decades.
Yeah, it's clear they intended when they finally decided, oh hey, we've got a crisis here that we shouldn't let go to waste. After they stopped saying that calling the China virus was racist and decided it wasn't just the flu, because I remember when that switch happened that they're like, okay, well we can use this, against we can use this in the elections, and we will hold back the vaccine until after Trump is defeated, and we've installed Biden. And their plan was to have Biden announce the vaccine rollout to great fanfare, and then they're just gonna kill it. They're just gonna declare, okay, King Biden has slain the dragon, just like at the end of Dragon Slayer, where he just like rolls over the carriage, gets out, puts his sword and his foot on the already smoldering corpse of Corona Chan, and declares victory. But what happened that they didn't intend wasn't Trump. It was that the death cult made the coronavirus rituals part of their public liturgy. And whenever they tried to roll back the masking or to say that, okay, well, the pandemic's ending, it's under control, the death cultists flipped out. They're like, no, we can't stop. You can't make us. And they're like, okay. Like, their constituents got so mad and were freaking out so bad they had to walk it back and continue the ruse.
Yeah, and also that the vaccine, they could have easily done it. So, like, they used the whole COVID situation. There's no Operation Warp Speed. Then Biden's whole administration, the first half, is he made the vaccine over 3 years, and they can play the whole shenanigans and say you're doing all this. But Operation Warp Speed now was, oh, okay, we just got to use the vaccine. And then there's the play for the not just the vaccine jab, mandating vaccines, and they had obviously a plan for that, but that got like rushed too. Of we're now at the point they can't even do mandates in most slightly red equivalent countries around the world. It's like you're a joke if you're trying that.
Oh no, I'm gonna time out. Speaking of what we were talking about earlier with Gavin, Twitter, and censorship algorithms. This is not my channel. I am a guest like you are. I do not want to get this channel in trouble with Susan. So,
okay.
Yes, let us be a bit more circumspect. But anyway, we have a last-minute addition to the panel. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. But I will talk more about that later. But, hey, ACL, good to see you.
Evening. Thought I'd drop by and say hi.
Hi.
Hello. Just got done. Wife was introducing me to her favorite version of Phantom of the Opera.
The Wes Craven one?
No, it's a 90s BBC two-parter, I believe, with Charles Dance as the Phantom.
Ooh.
Yes. That is a good one.
I don't wonder if I actually saw that one.
It is not a adaptation of the musical. It's an adaptation of the novel. So there is singing in it, but it is traditional opera singing, not Andrew Lloyd Webber.
And not talk singing.
Okay, yeah, I would be interested in seeing him do it. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And as someone who basically, my knowledge of the story is sort of what I've pieced together from the Andrew Lloyd Webber music I grew up with, but I really have only a vague idea of what's coming next. The part one ends with the chandelier drop.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
I also didn't realize there was so much humor they could fit into the story without ruining the gothic tone.
Mm. What's one example?
Yeah, no,
So like in the opening where like the new theater hand like wanders downstairs like he's not supposed to and gets killed by the Phantom. Shortly thereafter, the Phantom's talking with the old opera house owner about everything, and he's just like, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm rather put out. I've never had to kill anyone before."
Yeah.
It's like his introduction is he's dramatically wearing a skull mask as he kills this hapless stagehand, and then his very next scene, like you're like, actually he's kind of a dorky dude living under the opera house. Like, he's serious, but he's also like a human being
Yeah, because isn't the deal that
with a lot of problems.
Yeah, that he's basically, he lives under the opera house, and then he extorts the management to reserve him a private opera box and pay him a salary of like however many pounds a year or something, and that's basically their arrangement.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, as someone who just watched Last Action Hero, Charles Dance being like the only good thing about that movie, but really good, I got to see this now.
His character was also probably the reason I stuck with Game of Thrones as long as I did.
Yeah.
Just because watching him perform is like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like Game of Thrones was just it really was. The guy didn't finish the damn books. They would have done somewhat decently if he had finished, but he didn't finish the book. So that's what you get when you leave the guys who are obviously just two nepotistic guys who was someone executed and added a bunch of gratuitous sex and violence. But they were executing off what you did until you had nothing left, and then, well, what do you think they're going to do?
I know Brandon Sanderson is the usual go-to for who should have finished Game of Thrones, but think of how fun it would have been if they had hired Larry Correia to finish it.
Oh my goodness. He would found a way to kill them all. And made it look good.
Repeating crossbows.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I mean, we joke, but yeah, Larry's got the reputation as guy with a gun guy, right? But he also knows his plotting and structure and world building and character.
Yeah.
So he could pull off ice zombies in a satisfying way that makes sense. So yeah, I'm totally with you. I think he could have wrapped it up professionally.
He's definitely shown a good ability to cross genres. I mean, he's done essentially urban fantasy, military fiction, noir superhero fiction, fantasy. He's even done stuff for like he's got like a War Machine novel or short story, I think.
Yeah. I think he's a good choice. I think if Old Pub really cared about their audiences or even making a profit, they would consider him.
If.
Okay, well, I know CL just got here, and I don't mind shooting the breeze some more after the show in the green room, but we've been on for 3 hours, so I'm going to call this. So, thanks for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to click the bell icon to let you know of future Geek Gab shows like this one, and the main show on Saturdays with the Daddy Warpick and Dornall, and their array of spectacular guests like John Delarose from last time. And make sure you check out the Comet Frame X-Seed RPG, an ebook, paperback, and hardcover. It's my first foray into hardcover books, and the results are spectacular, which you can buy at the link below and have fun building mecha with you and your friends and smashing them together. So, for Geek Gab Retrospective, this has been Brian, and my panel tonight has been
Ardenon Studios.
Prep?
And Catholic Lancer.